Yeah. So another thing about we're always mentioning this it's really fast during this talk. One of the things that I find really intriguing is that people resist change. They always will resist it, and makes sense because they're afraid of the new thing. But usually they have time to adjust, right? So when the TV came, it was not like in all of the households in the US in one day. It took to 20, 30 years until it came to that, and then it took time. And now we have this AI which is so robust and it's so fast. It seems that if people would not adjust quickly or change quickly or maybe change their profession quickly, they would be out of work.
So let's take the TV as an example, and it's called also the long tail. So first it started with theaters. Okay, people went to actual theater to see shows, and then it went to the cinema. Okay, but the cinema was also at the beginning of the 20th century. People went to see the news in the cinema, and then it moved to our living room, the TV. Um, we had a few decades, and then came the computer and the internet, and now it's on our smartphones. It's available everywhere. So but we still have everything. You can still go to the theater. You can still go to the cinema. You still have your TV. You have the computer. You have your smartphone. You have everything. And this is part of the long tail. Most people will use probably the smartphone for 80% of their activities, but you can watch TV, sometimes go to the cinema, occasionally go to the theater. So again, this is part of the things that, but how to adopt change. And there is a lovely quote that is attributed to Winston Churchill that says that people love change, but want everything to stay the same. So again,
Yeah.
and
They
I
don't
really,
like changing. They like change, but not changing themselves.
this is part of the challenge, but this is why I recommend really start with the small habits, or start trying with small habits. Like even you have now something that you hate doing or you really don't like doing, use generative AI to help you accelerate it and outsource it to generative AI. Start building this capacity in you, just the basic literacy and the knowledge. Start with the things you don't like, that really the things that you don't want, you don't understand why you're doing it, use it. And then
Yeah.
start developing many things, maybe for your hobbies, maybe if you never understood poetry and you want poetry, so uh, put one of the lyrics that you love and start a discussion. Explain to me, interpret it to me, or open the discussion. And this is the second recommendation. Don't
Yeah.
stop at the first prompt. Usually, as it's called also the alignment, that we want this AI to behave like us, but also to behave with the same morals or the same ethics. But usually, if you come to a person and ask him a question, the chances that, and you don't know this person, the chances that he will give you a full question, the full answer with everything, the specifics of his personal life, are zero. The same is almost for interacting with generative AI. Converse. Ask a question, ask it to deepen, ask to pivot, go back, ask to expand on something, and then you will see and really start to understand the value and the importance. Hold the conversation. Just even take 15, 20 minutes on a specific topic that you wanted. Let's take quantum mechanics. No, and as Richard Feynman said, I can safely say that no one understands quantum mechanics. He won 2 Nobel Prizes. So ask it to explain quantum mechanics for a 10-year-old, and go up then for 15-year-old, for 20-year-old, or for someone that is doing, I don't know, is a guitar player or whatever. And then you'll see really almost, it was called Sparks of General Artificial Intelligence, a beautiful article that was released by MSR. But you will see that it can use metaphors and really explain it to your world and align it to your perspective and to your things that are of interest. And then you can start understanding the potential. But again, having it soon, we announced the Microsoft 365 Copilot. So it means in the near future, it's not going to be their generative AI. It's not going to be in Bing or on ChatGPT. It's going to be inside Word. It's going to be inside Excel. It's going to be inside PowerPoint. It's going to be inside your Outlook. it's going to be side by side you wherever you are.
Yeah. So if we're talking about Copilot and in general, the way that we see AI, we could say, okay, that's like a companion, like a guide, like a friend. I could consult, I could think, and it could be a professional. If I need a lawyer, if I need someone who would think with me about my work dilemmas, so forth, I could try and use it and maybe make friends with this technology and see how it's benefiting me. What's good for me to do that.
Yes, and behind the scenes, the model is called Instruct GPT. So the prompt, if you will give clear instructions, so articulate yourself well in English, it will accomplish the task. So, for example, you want to rent a house, you want to buy a house, or you got any legal contract and you're not a lawyer, or you don't understand legal jargon, or you're even afraid of legal jargon, you can now, of course, use the part of the document or the contract in the prompt and ask question, explain it to me in non-legal language, or what are the risks in this contract? What are the where does it speak about privacy? Where does it speak about maybe changes in the future or whatever? And then just in your language, ask the questions, and you will get the answers from the document, and it can really assist and accelerate everything, because many of us are also pushing many tasks that maybe we're afraid of, scared of, that we don't know. So I'll postpone it. Now you
Yeah.
have your, as you mentioned, your legal co-pilot, your medical co-pilot. Again, it's a co-pilot. You need to understand the limitations, but again, it can really accelerate your
Yeah.
understanding and your approach to many things.
Yeah, and we mentioned that it could do things that I wouldn't want to do, which are dangerous. I don't like it. I'm afraid of it. And I had my last conversation was with a military expert, AI military, and it mentioned that all of the missions that don't want to risk the soldiers, they're thinking about how to solve it with AI, maybe with drones or something like that, instead of risking people. And now we're saying the same thing about what you don't want to do, like talking to service providers about their rates or whatever. You could use AI for that.
So historically, it was called the triple D, 3 Ds: dull, dangerous, and dirty. The three
Yeah,
types of tasks that we don't want people to do, or we don't want to do, and we have technology that can do it for us. So even we had elevator boys at the beginning of the 20th century. We had chimney cleaners, okay, Mary Poppins, but no
yeah,
one wants to do it today. Okay, so
yeah,
now we have technology to do it, and of course, and even dull. For example, you can see globally. You mentioned the Air Force, but it's globally. So the use of UAVs is so many tasks. Even we have the famous U-2 plane of the spy plane of the US that flew for 70 or more hours, and it had a pilot there. Now you can use a drone. It's a dull job, and you can fly it remotely, and you don't need to waste the human spirit on these dull jobs. And of course, and this is part of the meaning and significance that we are looking for as humans in our work. And again, now you have this tool, all these repetitive tasks that you don't want to do. Use generative AI and focus on your core meaning, on your core values, and of course on your growth in the company, or as a personal, on a personal or familial
sure.
perspective.